For the first time in Papua New Guinea's political history, there will be no political camps to influence members of Parliament, MPs, ahead of the Supreme Court-ordered vote of no confidence, scheduled for next Tuesday. Both Prime Minister James Marape and the opposition's alternate Prime Minister candidate, Sir Peter Apatas, have publicly encouraged MPs to vote according to their conscience. In the past, political factions often formed camps and engaged in negotiations to secure support. However, both Marape and Apatas are now prioritizing direct engagement, advocating for individual MPs to make independent decisions. The public will observe over the next 5 days whether both leaders will uphold their commitment and allow MPs to attend Parliament independently, without group influence. In PNG politics, 5 days is a significant period, and unforeseen events could still lead to the formation of traditional political camps. Historically, MPs have been subjected to coercion, including being confined in hotels and involved in contentious negotiations to secure support for a prime ministerial candidate. The recent announcement by Marape and Apatas marks a pivotal moment for governance in Papua New Guinea, signaling a shift towards a more accountable and transparent legislative process. The outcome of the upcoming vote will not only determine the country's leadership but also set a critical precedent for how future votes of no confidence are conducted. Speaker of the National Parliament, Job Pomat, has stated that the sole agenda for next Tuesday will be the no confidence motion. He emphasized that proceedings must strictly comply with the Supreme Court orders to avoid legal repercussions. Notably, Speaker Pomat highlighted that if Sir Peter were to decline his nomination during the debate, the opposition would not have the option to propose an alternative candidate. This underscores the binding nature of the Supreme Court's ruling and its impact on parliamentary protocol. Parliamentary sources suggest that should an alternative candidate be ruled out, the opposition would need to await the next Parliament session in 3 months, during which new legislation on votes of no confidence is anticipated to take effect. Former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has called for leadership change, citing economic mismanagement, deteriorating services, and a national outcry for government accountability as primary reasons for a vote of no confidence against the Marape government.
Our country is not performing well, not only in the region but globally. We have a very decline in education standards. Our health services are almost non-existent. It is a poor delivery service to many of our communities and of course towns and cities throughout the country. There is a complete breakdown on law and order in many parts of our country, and that is evident by the number of criminal activities and crimes that are committed that has been reported daily on the media and social media. It's not only social indicators, it's also economic indicators.
O'Neill criticized the government's handling of public services and economic indicators, pointing to issues such as malfunctioning health services, collapsing law and order, and rising youth unemployment due to lack of opportunities. He also highlighted the alarming rise in national debt, stating that in just 6 years, debt has ballooned from 30 billion kina to 70 billion kina. Referring to his own resignation in 2019, O'Neill called on Marape to follow suit, stating, "I made that tough decision when the people demanded it. You cannot lead when the nation is screaming for change." East Sepik Governor Alan Bird echoed similar sentiments, calling for a change in leadership to address what he described as a failing central government.
You have to remember, our government is highly centralized, and it's failing in the center. The call by the Honorable Peter O'Neill is a very important one. Mibla sana backside law. Say Peter because he had the courage to put his hand up. For us, we know that Papua New Guinea needs a change. The people know that Papua New Guinea needs a change. This is nothing personal against James Marape as an individual. But you look at Mosem. First, Hamas Pla, 3 years na about ya, Mibla Satok, honeymoon ya. The people of Papua New Guinea gave you a chance to perform in the first 3 years. Now, if you look at every other prime minister through history, you count him, you go back, start no time, no somarena, he come. They had 3 years, all of them. The only government that had a longer stint was National Alliance, had 9 years from 2002. Even then, old man very old tired. After this honeymoon period, old man very tired. And then the Honorable Peter O'Neill and PNC, they went for 8 years. This time go 6 now. Or people tired. And we need to respond to that call. Okay? We need to respond to that call. It started off really well. There were so many really good promises, and I think all of us, including myself, we were hopeful that those promises would be fulfilled. But I think when you make one promise and then there's a promise, you current again, and you go add narbla promise and narbla promise. And I think the expectations of Papua New Guineans had gotten to a point where they were expecting some of them to be fulfilled.
Governor Bird revealed that his own province had not received essential operational funds since May 2023, leading to provinces and provincial health authorities running out of medicine and fuel. He stated, "Doctors are using their own money to buy supplies. This is not sustainable." Bird expressed support for Sir Peter Apata's as a viable alternative, emphasizing the need to listen to the people's demands for change.
This is a call to action for all members of Parliament to save Papua New Guinea. That is why we have gathered here today to appeal to all our colleagues on the other side to make their decision, because they're empowered under the mandate given to them by their people to make a decision to keep this Prime Minister in power and allow this madness to continue, or to save Papua New Guinea. It's very simple.
The upcoming vote of no confidence is a significant event in Papua New Guinea's political landscape, with potential implications for the country's governance and future parliamentary procedures.
Coming back to our friends in Pangu Party, I'm still unbelievable now. What are you going to do about it? Pangu, you can protect your legacy. Suppose you decide lo namelo you play magi mombla man na come. I'm sure they can come and talk to Sir Peter. Mibla lo opposition, mibla no gat namba. We are just here to voice the people's cry. That's our job. Our job is to respond to the people. When the people have an issue, that's when the opposition voices their concern. And we've been doing it. Okay? The responsibility of changing government is the responsibility of every single member of Parliament. Sing out them, stop on that.
This Pangu party itself, we are happy for them to make a change internally. There are many good leaders in there. But they must stand up and make a stand for the country.
With the motion of no confidence to take place next Tuesday, what are your thoughts on this matter? Should we need a new Prime Minister and change, or we stick to the current government to lead us until the 2027 national general elections? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to PNG Insight for more updates.